on to our November CVTA Finance Committee meeting, and I'm hoping each of you are doing well as we have entered the fall months. It's really fall outside. It'll be a beautiful day today. And I hope everyone is keeping themselves healthy and strong as we prepare for the Thanksgiving holiday. Well, we are all ready to get to work. Ms. Firestone, would you please certify whether or not we have a quorum?
Certainly. Hill County, Mr. Carroll.
Present.
Hanover County, Vice Chair Peterson.
Here.
Enrico County, Mr. Thornton.
Present.
City of Richmond, Chair Stoney.
Present.
Commonwealth Transportation Board, Mr. Brown. That concludes the roll call, and we do have a quorum.
Thank you, Ms. Firestone. We'll move on to item 1 on our agenda today, the consideration of amendments to the action meeting agenda. I have no changes to the agenda. Do we have any suggested changes?
Yes, sir. Mr. Chair, we do have some, additions to the agenda. Staff recommends changing new business to include 4 items for consideration today that stem from discussions at the CVTA TAC on Monday. Those include revenue projections, project selection and approval timeline, notification of a public hearing, and an update to the fall line cost estimate. We do have that, the revised agendas that should have been distributed already.
Okay, Mr. Parker has recommended some changes to the agenda. Is there a motion to amend the agenda?
So moved.
There's a motion, a second. It's the motion and the second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. We'll move on to, the agenda has been amended, and I think we are in possession of the said agenda. We'll now move on to item 2, the approval of the October 13, 2021 CVTA Finance Committee action meeting minutes. We have a motion to approve those October 2021 Finance Committee meeting minutes. To approve. Motion that has been seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And the ayes have it. The action minute meetings, the meeting action minutes have been approved. We'll move on to item 3, the open public comment period. Is there anyone from the public who signed up to offer comments online, via mail or in person?
We did not have any advance requests for comment. Ms. Firestone, is there anyone in attendance online that should be recognized?
Yeah, there is one.
There were no comments in advance, and there are no comments at this current time. So we'll move on to item 4 of our agenda, that is the CVTA Finance Committee meetings Chairman's report. I do not have a formal Chairman's report this morning, so let's go on and move on to item 5. Report, CVTA activity report. I'll hand it over to Mr. Parsons.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The staff activities staff has been busy supporting the 2 advisory committees, as we'll discuss later on the agenda today. I think many of the TAC activities under 5C we can review under new business with the amended agenda. Ms. Heater is handing out the financial activities report for the committee's review. And unless there are any questions on that, I believe that is the update. Mr. Ure, if you have any additional items for TAC, please share those as well.
Sure. The only other thing I'll mention that came out of the TAC meeting on Monday of this week was we adopted an action item to form a fall line working group, which will be not an official subcommittee of the TAC, but a working group that will consist of the 5 member localities that directly benefit from the fall line, as well as VDOT, to begin working on more detailed schedules, funding options, as well as project delivery of the various sections of the Fall Line Trail. So as you may be aware, the funding for the Fall Line that's been committed by the CVTA out of the regional funding will be basically a lump sum allocation. So it will be up in part to this working group to develop options on the best way to fund the entirety of the trail. Also in consideration of the request of the state to help fund the current delta between the full cost estimate and what CVTA is committing, as well as the funding is already allocated by other funding programs. That's the extent of my report.
Any questions? Seeing none, we move on to old business. So let's park anything else to include.
No, sir, not under item 5.
All right, we'll move on to item 6 of the agenda, old business. And item 6 is the financial advisory services proposal. My agenda says that we would like to go into executive closed session to discuss the financial advisory proposal. I know there's some language that goes along with that. There is a need to go into closed session to discuss a contractual matter and ask if is there a motion to that effect? To go into.
So moved.
There's a motion. The motion is made by Mr. Brown. Second. And Mr. Brown, I guess the motion is to move that executive committee convene in closed session pursuant to Virginia Freedom of Information Act, section 2.2-3711, A29, for the purpose of discussing the award of public contract involving the expenditure of public funds, including the terms or scope of such contract or discussion in an open session would adversely affect the authority's bargaining position or negotiation strategy and which requires discussion and consultation with legal counsel pursuant to section 2.2-3711 A8, during which all recording of this meeting will cease. Is that your motion, Mr. Brown?
That's my motion.
All right.
Thank you.
Is there a second of Mr. Brown's motion?
Second.
It's been seconded. I've already repeated the motion prior to the vote. There's a motion before us that we go into closed session for the purpose of discussing contractual matters which require discussion and consultation with legal counsel pursuant to the cited provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, during which all recording of the meeting will cease. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Ayes have it. The motion is carried. I ask that all staff and guests leave the meeting. Staff and guests may remain at the chairman's discretion, and I ask that staff turn off all recording equipment.
So, Mr. Mayor,
Thank you.
it'll take us a moment to get all of the attendees, Mr. Mata, Mrs. DeGrule, and Mr.
I will give you some time to get things in order.
Thank you.
Staff stay here.
At my discretion. I recognize you. Get a little traffic too.
Forest Avenue.
That mayor is Forest
I
Avenue.
wasn't gonna make a comment about that. It's probably been going on for a little while. Last 4 years.
You know, when Richard, when you dig, sometimes you find things you just didn't think you were gonna find, okay?
There was a backhoe removing a piece of what they repaired.
Like I said.
Across the
And
street.
then you gotta work with all the utility folks, people like Dominion and all that.
Oh, really? I don't know. They tell you it's gonna be 6 months, you know. Anyway.
Some people say there's staff shortages.
I hear that. Yeah, they were working on a quarter million a meeting. That's what it looked like. It looked like an utility.